what do you think about the foundations of the black pill ideology? Stuff like 80-20 rule or monogamy. I mean, just monogamy changing with the last 2 generations, making it such that not everybody is getting married, just like maybe 100 years ago. Do you ever think about these? Yeah, these
I think
things.
there's some validity. Obviously attractive people have better choices and better salaries for that matter. Um, I don't know the 80-20, that anybody did any kind of rigorous research to substantiate those numbers. It sounds like something they casually use in a conversation and just kind of stuck. I haven't seen anything to support that particular, proportion. Um, I think that in all species, almost all species, there is a proportion of males who never get a partner. And I think in human history, there was a bunch of males who always were left out of even the monogamy market, who ended up becoming monks or soldiers, um, or like servers of the church. Um, and it's just that in today's Western society, there's such a status association with having a partner that that particular direction may seem like a losing direction, um, more so than it was before. I mean, it was prestigious to become a monk. It was prestigious to become a soldier. You brought honor to your family. Families prepared their youngest sons for something like that because there wasn't enough land for all the sons, and without land you couldn't marry because you needed to have a livelihood. Um, and I think that it's probably harder to find a partner today than before because we're not as connected socially as we were before. Ironically, even though the social media connects us, people are lonelier. We have data about it. In America, especially, people are extremely lonely. We're separated by screens and by, car rides and by insane work schedules. Um, and of course, that's going to result in some people feeling it more acutely than others. And so I can understand the situation, the predicament that results in some men identifying as incels. Um, I don't feel that women are to blame for any of it. I don't understand, how you go from that to this. If anything, men tend to be non-monogamous more than women. So women tend to pick a partner and want to pick a partner and stick with them, as opposed to men who tend to want to have more than one partner. So if there's anybody to blame for the scarcity of available women, it's not women.
Yeah, actually, it would be better if women were less monogamous. In that, by that logic, it would be better if they would be less monogamous because
Right.
then it would be not only the 20% that would get them. I mean, I don't really believe in the 20% at all, but I think that's because we are still in a pretty monogamous society. I mean, we have like serial monogamy. Most people still want to be in a monogamous relationship, and yeah, but so you do agree that that no matter what we do, so the idea is basically go to the gym, educate yourself, get a higher salary, and blah blah blah, and all of these things, and then you're gonna stop being an incel. But according to what we are basically now talking about, or become a better communicator, become a nicer person, more charismatic, more, I don't know, be more be more likable for women. That's basically the prescription that society is giving to incels generally. But you are basically saying is that in the way our society is currently, in the direction society is currently going to, there will always be a percentage of men who will be left out, just like in the times before we had the strict monogamy where everybody was getting married. So basically, even if you get better, you just kick out somebody else basically out of this hierarchy, right?
I mean, right. So if there is 100 men and 100 women, and that's the population of humans, and women tend to want to be monogamous, but out of the 100 men, some amount, 30, will want to have more than one woman at all times, right? That leaves some men who will never get a single woman if women want to be monogamous. You understand how the math works?
Yes.
It's very simple. It's just math, right? And the preferences that are built into women and men by millennia of evolution.
Yes.
So I think it's hard. I think, listen, I'm a divorced single woman. It's freaking hard. I don't think I'm an incel. And I don't think there's anything, wrong with my communication skills.
We should have talked about femcells. I forgot to
I'm not, though. So I'm just like, it's a hard time to be alive in, where we're in this wild west of the internet. The social bonds are kind of straining and breaking all over the place. Where do you meet people? These in Europe it's easier. In America, they're not third places. You have to spend like exorbitant amounts of money going to places you might not enjoy, like bars or
you're gonna attract a lot of hatred if you continue to talk now, because
why?
because of reasons. You are so basically my community to 90% is probably incels, and I understand you, I hear you, but we're talking about we have a lot of, I mean, if 90% are incels, you know the stats about incels, we're talking about people with a very high likelihood of having very severe problems from that. So your issues, I understand them, but it will not really, I mean, I also think that it's kind of not good to talk about them. You see what I mean?
I'm not trying to talk about my issues. I'm trying to illustrate the infrastructure for meeting and connecting with people is compromised. And I'm saying that it's compromised for everybody. So I'm not trying, I mean, I don't need you to talk about my issues.
But really you just, but there is a difference. You could do something about it, right? And we agree that you are not statistically just that it is statistically for some people impossible to get better or to so your problem is solvable.
Why is it statistically impossible? That's bullshit.
Because you're just kicking out somebody else then for that person. You just agreed to that. You just made the simple math, right? You just said, okay.
Well, I mean, no, for a particular person, statistically, there's a subsection of men that are going to be without partners. But for any particular person, there's no statistical impossibility.
But it's just like saying that everybody can get rich. It's just like the same thing. Not everybody can get rich. Not at the same time.
Anybody.
Not at the same time.
You're mixing up, like, you're mixing up things.
Tell me.
I'm not saying everybody can get a girlfriend. I'm saying anybody, any one person doesn't have an impossibility of getting a girlfriend. There's a motivational speaker who was born without arms or legs. He's married with 3 children. If he can get a girlfriend, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's not good that you're saying that, because that's you just admitted that there will always be some guy who's gonna not be in a relationship, or who's not gonna get laid. He's always gonna be single his whole life, right? That's what we said before. So
no,
telling him it's cruel. It's cruel.
Any given time.
No, we know that
there's going to be.
It's his whole life.
We know a group of men who are not going to have a partner.
We know that it's his whole life, right? We know that.
We
know that from. We know that.
No, we don't. And I know personally some people who were very influential in the incel movement.
It can be a very small percentage.
Girlfriends that they moved in with.
Okay, then it's case closed, right? No, it's not case closed.
You were making it sound like it was case closed, and I'm saying it's very much open.
You just admitted that in every species, you have like 30 to 40% that is continuing.
I didn't say anything about percent. I didn't say anything about percent.
Okay, but there is a certain percent. I think the percentage is really low. Okay, I think it's like maybe it's probably pretty low, but there is a small percentage, very small percentage, who's never going to get laid. Because no matter what they individually do, they're going to kick somebody else out, and that person is just like there's always going to be someone who's going to be poor for the rest of their life, right? Because our current system is just designed that way.
You're mixing a whole bunch of things together. Being at any given time, being poor doesn't mean that you're going to be poor for the rest of your life. at any given time, not having had a partner up until that point doesn't mean that you're going to stay that way. People are serious monogamists, right? So, you're not single now, you will be, single maybe at some
Mhm.
time later, and vice versa. If you're single now, you may be together with somebody
Okay, so
sometime later.
then I completely misunderstood you, because I thought you said that there is, in every species, there is a certain amount of men that never get married and never reproduce and never get into a relationship. I thought that's what you said
in
before.
in species other than humans, they don't get married, right? But in a lot of
And don't
species,
reproduce.
there's certain proportion of males who never become partnered ever. In
Yes.
humans, we had it codified in the Western civilization up until some time ago,
Yes.
where we kind of put these people in a pigeonhole where if you're a monk, that's it,
Yeah.
if you're a soldier, I mean, you can probably, I don't know, have a romance at some or something, but you're never going to get married. That's it. That was the deal. That deal is kind of, I mean, you can probably still become a monk, but for most, men, that's not an option that's as much on the table as it was a while ago. So we're in this shifting paradigm right now where, people feel bad that they're not in a relationship, where before they would feel, happy about, this future that they would have with the church or whatever. But that's not to say that
Wait,
this is their destiny. Being a monk is a
do
destiny.
you don't believe that there is a certain percent of men who will always that there will sorry that there will always be a certain percentage of men who will never get into a relationship ever in their whole lifetime? Do you believe that, or you
I
don't
don't know
believe
about
that?
I don't know about a whole lifetime. I really don't. I
But
mean,
that was the thing that we talked about when we said about other species, right? That's what you were saying,
yeah,
right?
but humans are not other
It's not
species,
like the
and
other species were having affairs, but you took the parallel of species to, in
other
order.
species too.
Wait,
So
you
you
didn't
have,
bring. We didn't just talk about other species just randomly.
and
You said
and
that.
again, I
Yeah.
told you that in the Western civilization we had a parallel model where we pigeonholed some men into careers that prevented them from competing in the meat market. But that has changed. We don't have that model as a viable one anymore, right? So even in other species, so you have, for example, an alpha male gorilla or ape
Yeah.
of some sort that
Yeah.
dominates females and partners with them, and other males don't even go through puberty. They remain in a juvenile state.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're going to remain that way forever? Not at all, because the alpha males, they get into a lot of fights, which injures them and sometimes
Yeah.
it kills them.
Yeah.
B, testosterone, which is what makes them alpha male, that's what grows hair and makes them big and their muscles bulky.
Yeah.
It's very expensive for the body. It wears out your heart muscle, which is
Okay.
why men have heart attacks more than women. So they die younger. And the juvenile males actually live longer,
Okay. I get it.
and they can go through puberty when the alpha male steps down, is kicked down, is killed,
And is
and
being
take
replaced
over
by
the
another,
hair.
by the new alpha male, and then
They become alpha males, or
yes.
there's another possibility, which is they become beta males who secretly sleep with the women, with the females. And unlike the alpha male, they're nice to them and they help
Yeah.
with the babies and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of possibilities for the not
Okay,
alpha males.
but I'm pretty sure that in animals, I'm pretty sure that the sexual selection goes that only a few small amount, a small percentage of men reproduce, and all the other ones don't reproduce. And
So you have to look that up again. So
mhm,
I mean, it's true that alpha males out reproduce other individuals.
mhm,
However, it's not for the rest. Alpha males get done being alpha males, and then
mhm,
the next alpha male kills all of their offspring. That's the first thing they do, to put the females in the estrus so they can
mhm.
impregnate them. So they have a chance to have their own offspring. And there's this, a sizable proportion of illegitimate, babies fathered by beta males.
I mean, I'm not saying that this is the case for humans. I'm saying that, for example, because of monogamy, that's not the case for humans, right? Because we don't live in a society where most women want to be with one alpha male that has 10 girlfriends, right? We live in a
Yeah.
society where most women want one husband and want to be in a monogamous relationship, and at the same time the ones that are polygamous, that are not in a committed monogamous relationship, might be with a guy that has a lot of women but are also sleeping around with a lot of men. So there's really no problem there either, right? So we don't have that dynamic where we get in the ape situation with the alpha male ape that has a harem and the rest that are not getting
I don't
anything.
know. I mean, I think we sometimes do in some societies more than in others, but anyway. There are
Okay,
some societies where males keep harems.
sure, true. Uh,
I have to go.
I know. Thank you for your time, Sophia. It was an interesting talk. If you want to have, you can have the last words.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. Sorry if I upset any of your listeners. I didn't intend it. And I wish all of you guys peace and ease of life and happiness.
Thank you, Sophia. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.